Is Elena. I am 23 years old, and for most of my life, I believed I was strong. I worked as a nurse in a private hospital, long shifts, white walls, the steady sound of machines. I liked my job, not because it was easy, but because it mattered. Every day, I walked through the same doors, put on the same uniform, and left my personal life outside. Or at least, I thought I did. Then Daniel came in. It was an ordinary morning. Too ordinary to change everything. He was admitted after a car accident. Nothing life-threatening, but serious enough to keep him for weeks. When I first saw his name on my chart, it meant nothing to me. Room 214. Mail. 30-6. Recovery care. Just another patient. When I entered his room, he was awake. His arm was bandaged. His face had a small cut near his eyebrow. He looked tired, but calm. "Good morning," I said, professional and neutral. "I'm Elena. I'll be your nurse today." He smiled softly. "Daniel." No spark. No moment. At least, not yet. Recovery is slow, boring, painful in quiet ways. I saw Daniel every day. Checked his vitals, changed dressings, brought medication. He never complained. That stood out. Most patients did. He asked questions instead about the process. About timelines. Sometimes about me. "Do you like being a nurse?" he asked once. I paused. "I do," I said. "I like helping people." He nodded. That makes sense. There was something in the way he said it. Like he really meant it. I told myself it was nothing. One evening, I stayed late. The ward was quiet. Daniel was awake, staring at the ceiling. "Can't sleep?" I asked. "Too many thoughts," he said. I smiled politely. "That happens." I adjusted his pillow. Our fingers touched. Just for a second, I pulled away immediately. My heart beat faster than it should have. I hated that. This was my job. He was my patient. I reminded myself of that over and over again. Over time, conversations grew longer. He told me about his work. He was an architect. Loved designing spaces people could feel safe in. I told him about nursing school. How I almost quit once. He listened. Really listened. That was dangerous. One night, after a particularly hard shift, I sat in the break room and cried quietly. I didn't realize he could hear me. Later, when I returned to his room, he looked at me carefully. "You don't always have to be strong," he said. My throat tightened. No patient had ever said that to me. I nodded. And changed the subject. I started requesting different assignments. Not because of him. Because of me. But sometimes staffing didn't allow it. One morning, I found a small folded note on his tray. "Thank you for treating me like a person, not a problem." I stared at it longer than I should have. I didn't keep it. I should have thrown it away, but I slipped it into my pocket. The setback. 2 weeks into recovery, Daniel took a turn. Infection. Fever. Pain. That night was chaos. Doctors rushed in. Machines beeped loudly. I stood by his side, focused and calm. But inside, I was terrified. When his fever finally broke, I sat outside his room shaking. I realized then how deeply I cared and how wrong that was. After he stabilized, he looked at me differently, more careful, more quiet. One evening he said, "Elena, if things were different." I raised my hand gently. "Please don't," I said. He stopped. We both knew. That was the moment everything changed. Daniel was cleared to leave. I should have felt relief. Instead, my chest hurt. When I brought his paperwork, he stood slowly, still weak. "Thank you," he said, "for everything." You're welcome, I replied, professional, controlled. At the door, he paused. If our paths cross again, he said, I hope I get to know you as Elena, not Nurse Elena. I didn't answer. I couldn't. Life moved on, or pretended to. I changed hospitals. New routine, new patients. But some nights, I still thought of him. Then, one afternoon, in a quiet cafe across town, I heard my name. Elena? I looked up, Daniel, standing there, healthier. Stronger, smiling, this time. No charts, no uniforms. Just two people. One night, months later, we stood on a bridge overlooking the city, lights reflected on the water. I almost died, he said quietly, and I realized something. I waited. Life doesn't wait for perfect timing. I felt tears rise. I don't regret meeting you, I said, but I needed time to forgive myself. He took my hand, slowly, respectfully. I don't want to take anything from you, he said. I want to build something with you. That was the moment, not dramatic, not loud, but real. We are not perfect, we argue. We doubt. But we choose each other, and I learned something important. Sometimes love doesn't come when it's easy, it comes when it asks you to grow first. Some connections begin in the most unexpected places. And some feelings take time to become right. Tell me in the comments. Do you believe timing matters more than love? Or love matters more than timing? I read every comment. If you're learning English, stories like this help you feel the language, not just understand it. Like the video, if this story moved you, subscribe to Learn English with Sophia for more emotional English stories. See you in the next one. Bye-bye, and take care. And love ya.